Narcissism is one of the most misunderstood personality traits, often shrouded in misconceptions and oversimplifications. First glance, narcissists may appear self-assured, confident, and even invincible, but behind the facade lies a different, more complex reality. Beneath the surface, they are trapped in a cycle of self-destructive behaviors, unable to escape the very actions that once seemed to guarantee their success. If you've ever wondered why narcissists behave the way they do, or why their relationships so often seem to spiral out of control, you're about to uncover the secret struggle that lies at the heart of their actions. Stick around until the end of this video as we unravel why narcissists are not just controlling others, they're also trapped in their own game. Imagine a person who craves admiration and validation from everyone around them. They need to be the center of attention, and they are willing to manipulate, deceive, and even hurt others to maintain that image. Sounds like a person who's in control, right? But here's the twist. Narcissists are not the ones truly in control. In fact, their constant need for approval and admiration is what holds them back from ever experiencing real happiness or fulfillment. The very traits that seem to propel them forward are actually the chains that bind them. But before we dive deeper, I'd like to invite you to subscribe, like, and share this video with others who might benefit from this discussion. Understanding narcissism can not only help you navigate difficult relationships but also encourage compassion and empathy for those struggling with this complex personality disorder. Let's dig deeper into this fascinating topic. The heart of narcissism is a fundamental insecurity that few people outside of this personality type fully understand. Narcissists often have fragile self-esteem that requires constant reinforcement. Their outward confidence and arrogance are simply masks they wear to protect themselves from the painful truth. They do not feel truly worthy of love or respect. Instead of building genuine connections, they rely on external sources of validation to temporarily boost their fragile egos. Problem is that this external validation is fleeting, and it never fills the void they feel inside. It's like trying to fill an ocean with a teaspoon. No matter how much admiration they get, it's never enough. You might be wondering, why don't narcissists just realize this and stop seeking validation from others? The answer lies in how their brains are wired. Narcissists have learned to see their self-worth through the eyes of others. This is why they will go to great lengths to gain admiration, because in their minds it's the only way to feel good about themselves. They have become trapped in this cycle of needing others to mirror their greatness to feel valuable. But here's the thing. The moment that admiration fades, so does their sense of self. The very people they manipulate for validation also become a source of their pain when they inevitably fail to meet narcissists' ever-changing demands. As the narcissist's need for validation grows stronger, their behavior becomes more erratic. They may seem charming and persuasive at first, but over time their actions will begin to reflect the deep insecurity they are constantly battling. They may resort to gaslighting, manipulation, and guilt-tripping in an attempt to regain control over their narrative. But no matter how successful they may seem in the short term, this behavior only pushes people away in the long run. People who once admired them begin to see through the facade, and the narcissist is left feeling even more isolated. It's crucial to understand that the narcissist's struggle is not just about controlling others. It's also about controlling their own sense of self-worth. Their actions are driven by fear of rejection, fear of being exposed, and most importantly, fear of being ordinary. To avoid facing the reality of their own inadequacy, narcissists create a false reality that they believe will protect them. This false reality is built on grandiose fantasies of success, power, and admiration. But no matter how much they try to convince themselves and others that they are superior, they know deep down that these fantasies are just that, fantasies. The only way to sustain their false sense of self is to constantly perform, to never stop seeking attention, and to never allow their true selves to be seen. Now, let's talk about how this internal conflict affects their relationships. Narcissists are notoriously difficult to maintain relationships with. Their partners, friends, and family members often find themselves caught in a cycle of constant emotional ups and downs. First, the narcissist may seem charming, attentive, and loving. They shower their partner with attention and affection, but as the relationship progresses, the cracks in the facade begin to show. Narcissists struggle with empathy, and their ability to understand and connect with others on an emotional level is often limited. As a result, their relationships are frequently one-sided. The narcissist will demand love and validation from their partner without offering the same in return. When their partner fails to meet these expectations, the narcissist may lash out, using guilt and manipulation to regain control. But what happens when the narcissist's world begins to crumble? When they can no longer rely on others to validate their worth, they experience a profound sense of emptiness and confusion. This is when the true struggle begins. The narcissist's need for validation is like an insatiable hunger that can never be truly satisfied. They may find themselves spiraling into despair, feeling more and more isolated as their behavior pushes people away. And yet, despite all the pain they cause others and themselves, narcissists often continue down the same path, unable to break free from their destructive patterns. The narcissist's struggle, however, is not entirely hopeless. Understanding the root causes of narcissism, the deep-seated insecurity and fear of rejection, can help us approach them with compassion rather than judgment. While narcissism is a deeply ingrained personality trait, it is not an irreversible condition. Therapy and self-reflection can help narcissists confront their insecurities and learn to build healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. But this process is long and difficult, requiring a willingness to face uncomfortable truths and challenge their deeply held beliefs. In the meantime, if you find yourself dealing with a narcissist, it's important to protect your own mental and emotional well-being. Set clear boundaries and don't fall into the trap of constantly trying to fix or save them. Recognize that the narcissist's behavior is driven by their own struggles, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your own happiness in the process. It's okay to walk away from toxic relationships that drain your energy and self-worth. As we close this discussion, I want to thank you for taking the time to explore the secret struggles of narcissists with me. We've uncovered how their actions are often driven by deep internal insecurities, and how they are trapped in a never-ending cycle of seeking validation, even at the expense of their relationships and happiness. By understanding the root causes of narcissistic behavior, we can approach narcissists with more empathy, while also protecting ourselves from the harmful effects of their actions. If you found this video insightful, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Together, we can spread awareness and help break the cycle of narcissistic behavior, creating healthier, more supportive relationships in the process. Stay tuned for more content on navigating complex psychological dynamics, and always remember, your worth is not defined by the approval of others but by the love and respect you give to yourself. Thank you for watching.